difficulties. I'm Michelle Faust with Lemonade Legend, and we are here with my very special guest, Samantha Root. And we're doing a follow-up to a discussion that Sam and I had on a podcast, I don't know, about 3 weeks ago, maybe.
I think so, a month or so.
Yeah, we were talking about depression. And we were specifically talking about depression in regards to being, all the COVID-19 things going on. And we got a lot of response from that. I mean, it really stirred up some conversation and discussion. And we decided we needed to do this follow-up because it's important to talk about, because it's not just about COVID-19. It is a real situation that that affects a lot of people, and the response was overwhelmingly positive about our coming out and talking so openly and transparently. So I asked Sam to come back so we could continue that conversation, and we really encouraged the engagement and the discussion about this and question. Not that we're the experts by any means, but we're the experts in our own depression, right?
That's right.
So welcome, Sam. Thank you for agreeing to come back on. So let's talk a little bit about, I know you have, you were receiving some personal responses back. So let's touch on, some of those and really address those specifically, since it was engagement directly to you.
Sure. So, I find it really interesting. You and I talked a little bit, and so everybody's just clearly aware. So, kind of brief story. If you're new to learning about my story, you can learn more in the Lemonade Stand book. But I'm a mom, 5 kids. My oldest, I've got 19, 18, 16, 5, and 2. Have a 10-month-old, 90-pound dog, a weenie dog, a husband. I run 2 companies. And I'm a human being, right? So Michelle runs and operates the Lemonade Stand in all kinds of hats herself. She is a mother, she is a wife, all these things. And her and I, our connection is, we look pretty. Today we actually did our hair and our makeup for y'all, but we're like a hot mess and we love that together. Even today's little flop on Facebook, that's us. So I think it's important. I am not a counselor by any means. I'm not a psychiatrist. I can tell you have some really great ones that support me. But that's definitely not what I am. It's important for you to know that I'm just a normal human being. And I think that's why our viewers were able to feel, brave enough. I really feel that there was some bravery because they don't know me. I didn't know them, right? But they didn't know me. And so to send messages to me of a, hey, me too, or, oh my gosh, thank you for posting because I'm going through that. I don't know who to talk to. I can't talk to anybody about this. I don't want anybody to know about this. There's something really humbling about it, but I think it's so, we talk about what's normal, right? And the truth of the matter is normal, there isn't a normal, just like balance. There isn't balance. There's counterbalance, right?
Yep.
Counter normalcy, maybe. That was a word I just made up, I think. But so you have to just say, okay, there is no normal. So talk about it. But the post, people are not, I don't know, there's a lot to be learned when we're sharing this video on YouTube, right? And social media platforms. People are not comfortable yet to write on the lines, right? They want to do it in the back. And so I think you and I are really trying to make the world share their story, right?
Mm-hmm.
You want people to share their story, and I just want people to own the stripes, like own it. So between a book and owning your stripes, I think you're going to be fine. So yeah, I mean, some of the feedback, business owners are writing, people that have served in the war, moms that have lost children, all walks of life. Somebody that, owns a salon, like successful people have this. Well, again, it goes back, there is no normal, and success. I mean, if we're all making it till tomorrow, we're successful in my eyes, I think right now.
Exactly. Yeah, and we talked a little bit before going on live, but this perception that it's something that has to be fixed,
Yeah.
like we're broken.
Mhm.
It's not something to be fixed. It is something to talk about,
Mhm.
to be accepting of
Mhm.
yourself and what you're going through, and still loving yourself, and saying I'm not going to put glue on this and put it back in,
Mhm.
so it fixed. It's
Gorilla,
not me.
Gorilla Glue doesn't fix it. And the reason Gorilla Glue doesn't fix it, because you weren't broken. You know, there is a difference. There is a difference in being perfectly imperfect, right? Perfectly imperfect. We all are that. Glue doesn't fix that.
Right.
We were created to be that way. We're not meant to be, perfectly in a mold, right? But you can't fix what was just already perfectly imperfect. And I think people need to embrace that. You and I talked offline a little bit. I get a lot of people that talk to me when they do reach out, apologize. They apologize that they've reached out, and they're just apologizing and apologizing. And, eventually I get to a place where just don't apologize. There's not a reason to need to say you're sorry. Don't be sorry. There's nothing wrong. You give permission. The people that have this, allow yourself grace and permission to be what you are, and don't hide it. And the people that may not have ever gone through these types of emotions before, because yes, it's emotions, but it's based on some chemical imbalance. Okay. But it is emotion. But if you haven't been there, don't make the person feel like they need glue, because remember, just the glue's off the table. It's off the table. Doesn't exist. It's not going to happen. And don't when you find them apologizing, it's kind of like I don't know, almost like we have to rewire ourselves, right? Because you've had that before too. And we remind each other, don't apologize, or hey, it's okay. Like, hey, it's okay. And you move on. You know, Stop those people, because they can't help themselves. They feel guilty that they're perfectly imperfect.
Well,
Saying you're sorry.
and it's really, so the flip side of the coin is how does somebody who is not dealing with depression,
Mhm.
or I think there's a lot of learning that needs to go on in that if you're fortunate enough not to suffer from depression, how do you respond to people, and how do because it's just that we need to be non-judgmental, so that people don't feel like they need to apologize, or they don't feel like they need to be fixed or perfect. And so much of the reason why I promote sharing your story is because people are going to be so much more, they're just going to resonate more with you if they identify with that. You may have a whole, you talk about business owners and being afraid to be open about that, but you may be opening up a whole big set of a group of clients that might just come to you because they realize that you understand what they're going through.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, so we need to get rid of this stigma
Mhm.
that depression is wrong.
Well, we're all making it weird. You and I talked about it. I take Lamotrigine, 125 milligrams a day, once a day. I have Prozac if I need it on an as needed basis if my anxiety gets out of control. That's what I take, y'all. It is what it is. I take ginger pills when I have nausea. I'm on keto, so I have MCT oil pills because and chia seeds. Do you see how normal that is? This is my plan. This is what I do. We're making it weird by thinking people are going to think it's weird.
Yeah.
We're psychoanalyzing it. I put a quote the other day on my social media, and I did it because it was something I shared in the article of your magazine. We literally have millions of people in this world, millions and billions of people in this world. So what that means is you get to choose your tribe. They don't get to choose it for you. Okay. So make your treatment plan normal. The one thing, Patrick, so my husband and I, we've been together 13 years now.
Mhm.
I don't think Patrick would have ever wanted to sign up to have a wife, girlfriend, baby mama that has my depression. People have to love us differently. Yes, we require a different type of love. That's the truth, right? But Patrick and I, for the longest time, had a lot of struggles because one thing Patrick used to tell me a lot, we'd get in an argument and I just wanted to be heard, but he thought he was hearing me. So, you kind of have that like relational Mars, Venus, whatever situation. And I remember so often he would tell me, I can't fix you. I'm not equipped to fix you. I can't fix you. I can't fix you, and it did a lot of damage before we crossed. Okay. It did a lot. There was definitely a period where I was tail spinning because if my own husband's telling me I'm not thinking logical and I'm not these things, but yet he's also, when we're not in a fight, telling me how intelligent I am, my reality ruckused around. That's just the truth. But what happened was, it was late last year, middle to late last year, I guess. I don't know what did it, but my advice now has been to people, I learned to stop caring. I learned to stop caring. And that is so weird because that sounds, to the heart, like, oh my God, that's horrible. I can't believe she just said that live for everyone to see. No, my husband is not icky mushy. He's a committed husband, father, friend, worker, all these things. That doesn't take away from his person, right? But what I learned is I was expecting him to just, I don't know, maybe coddle me or something. I don't know, something screwed up in my head, right? That I needed. And so when I stopped caring, it allowed both of us to have freedom. And so like, I'm not sad about it anymore. And so what happens now is, and Patrick is great with it because it relieves him of being the failure in my eyes. Mm-hmm. And he likes that. So now if I'm having a moment or whatever, I'll just tell him something simple like, hey, I'm going to go talk to one of my girlfriends, so-and-so, right? Because I know you can't be emotionally there for me the way I need right now. So I'm going to go talk to them and they're going to handle it. You know what he always tells me? Perfect, honey. I'll have dinner ready when you get home. I will have a cocktail ready. And
good for Patrick.
But that, you know what? Because not everybody understands it, right? But if we're not going to make it normal, it's being able to say, tell your husband, okay, I know you can't be emotionally supportive the way I need on this one little tailspin I'm having. So I'm going to go find my friend over here. He'd be so happy. Like, oh my God, she loves me. She loves me because she's not about to go set me up to fail. Because emotional people that are, I guess, more inclined towards emotion, if you're wired the opposite way, it's a lot to take in. It's a lot. And you really do feel as if the person might be like losing their marbles.
Yeah. So what I'm hearing, I just love you, Sam. You put things in such an amazing perspective. And so what I'm hearing really is we need to find the people that we need to connect up with at that moment where it's really dragging us down. The people who understand, and that we can't put the expectation necessarily on our spouse.
No.
Or our parents or whoever is, we have to find who is it that I can go
to. Remember, Patrick, even yesterday we had like, I had some emotions that I had to deal with. And, the one thing you need to remember, we're allowed to have these types of emotion and overwhelming. I promise you, just because the person can't be there to emotionally support you, to get you to feeling better about yourself, they don't love you any less. They don't. They're so scared to fail you that it's paralyzing to them on that end.
Yeah. So another thing that we talked about a little bit, and I really wanted to bring this up because I really felt it when you were talking about it, that depression is kind of like a ghost, or I like to say maybe a shadow. Mm-hmm. It's just kind of always there. And that's what I feel like. It's not like it goes away and then it shows up. It's a little bit more silent at times, a little bit less in my face.
Yeah.
But it's always there, So let's talk about that a little bit.
Sure. So I told you today I can tell that mine's creeping up. If y'all have followed us on the last episode, I yawn a lot. I get really tired, and that's how I know. I wanted to take a nap before we got on, but I didn't because I would get bedhead. I washed my hair for you guys. Yeah, this is washed hair for y'all.
And it looks beautiful.
But yeah, so when you have it, I think, I don't know, I don't want to say that like when I feel it coming on, I feel ashamed. When I feel it coming on and when others feel it coming on, you almost feel like, oh boy, here I go again. Why couldn't I just be normal for 1 week? Why couldn't I just not put my family or others through this one more time? Why can I just not get with it? Right? I think you need to just understand everyone. Okay. None of us wake up saying, oh, today my number one task to do is to go get severe depression. Like, that's what I'm going to do today. That is, if I get that one thing done today, everything else is unnecessary. Absolutely not. We don't control what it does. Right. And you can have the best of intention and plan, but plans change. And whether on this topic or anything in general, laundry, I think you're going to do your laundry and you don't. So, but you have to be able to, instead of having that feeling of, oh God, why couldn't I just handle one more day? You start kicking yourself in the butt already as quick as you start feeling it. And instead it's being able to say, okay, here we go. I've got it. So I know you're here. I'm here with you. And let's do something. But again, whether you have your tribe in place, I strongly suggest to have some people that it's not about having a ton, because I understand this is vulnerable, right? But even if you have 1 to 2 people that when you're really struggling, you can just text and say, hey, I'm hiding under a rock, give it a code name or something, right? Or, hey, can you just pray for me today? Or, hey, can you send me a funny meme? Like, just whatever, tell them what you're going to need so that when you do operation texting you for it, they know what to do. Right.
Yeah.
But then it's being able to say, okay, so like sometimes if a lot of people with depression, you feel almost like a physical pain. So you lay down, you tend to lay down, you tend to like kind of not want to eat, you get real like reclused.
Yeah.
Right. Or some people go the opposite. They get very compulsive. They get very workaholic. It's being able in those moments to say, okay, I know you're here because my hands are moving and working on the keyboard and I'm working until 1 a.m. I know you're there. So because I know you're there, I'm going to remove myself from this keyboard right now because I know why I'm doing this. It's not because I'm trying to get extra work done. I know it's because I'm trying to fight the demon inside right now that's going. Accept it. Acceptance of your flaws. You have to be acceptant of your flaws, because when you're not acceptant of your flaws, you think the whole world is judging you for it.
Yeah.
They weren't. They just want to love you. We all want to love each other. Really do. At least the people, thousands and thousands of people that I know, I don't know a single one of them that don't want to love me if I needed it. Same thing for you. You know that.
Yeah, and again, we are our own worst enemies. So so that is something that we can do and we can control in regards to our own depression, is how we feel about it and how we address it, because we're the ones making it weird.
Yeah.
We're the ones making it a bigger deal than it really is.
And take pictures. Yeah, the one gal that I was messaging with last week, it was so funny because she was like so down and she was just like really down on herself. She's still working while she's messaging me. She still has her kids. She's still in quarantine. I sent her a picture. I was like, oh, well, actually, I have my depression today. I'm in the bed working on my laptop, but the blankets are right here on me while I'm laying physically down. I have no makeup. I look like butt crack. Yeah. And she's like, oh my God. And then she sent me a picture. I said, exactly my point. Do you see? We're one and the same. We're the same. Just
yeah. I love that.
Own it. Just own it. Like, take a picture of it. If you're, stop acting like you have it all together, because the people that act like they have it all together, they're liars. They're liars, y'all. I promise. It's not all together. Go open their freaking pantry if you need to. Yeah. It's dirty.
Well, and again, I think that might be why depression is on the rise, or just there's many reasons, but I almost feel like we are in a society, because of TV and movies and, all these perceptions of what normal and beautiful is and all of these things, and that if we don't measure up, that then there's something wrong with us. So the mere fact of just accepting who we are and loving self-love, just
Or that quarantine, I think part of it is on the rise because people are trying to pretend they have it so together during quarantine, right? Oh yeah, oh, all these people that are struggling with the kids running on the roof, like, you know what I'm saying? Oh yeah, the dishes. Oh, my dishes are perfectly kept in the sink. There's nothing to see here. It's just the elephant doesn't fit in the room anymore.
yeah.
And so it was like all these plates were spinning, right? And you're trying to hold your sanity together, but there's fears. Anytime that there's fear, your depression will be triggered. The fear of uncertainty, the fear of, am I going to get sick? A loved one going to get sick? Jobs, not jobs. Am I going to find toilet paper or Lysol? I mean, am I going to get sick if I go to the mailbox? Is out here in Arizona, is the sun really going to bake Corona and kill it away, or is it going to make it work? You know, everybody, it's the moment of truth, and it's causing people to have that. And I think now that there's a lot of the bans are being lifted also, I think there's a lot of fear because a lot of people wanted the freedom. And now that there's a lot of that freedom, people are scared that now we have the freedom. Because, oh, well, maybe we should have had, there's
Yeah,
not.
isn't that a mind bender? I mean, seriously, it is.
All defies gravity. We are in a season that everything that we thought was keeping gravity the way it's supposed to is upside down. And but you got, we do breakfast burritos out here. So in my neighborhood, I'm the burrito lady. Add that to my titles. But we make breakfast burritos. And one of the reasons that we started that when we did, again, it goes back to Patrick really loving me. I thank him all the time for it. I said, I've got this crazy idea and I want to provide breakfast for people every Sunday. So even like Mother's Day, we made Belgian waffles for moms. A lot of single moms in our neighborhood got some, and then other moms too. But we make these burritos, and last week we did 120.
Wow.
If you were to see, Michelle, I mean, again, you look at superficial, right? Superficial tells you we live in a gorgeous neighborhood. We have mountain views, everybody, lots of people with pretty cars, pretty houses, they're newer, we have parks. Okay, but within our community, we have a family that lost their son to suicide, right? In our neighborhood. We have people that have lost their jobs. We have people that loved ones have fallen sick. We have awesome neighbors in here that can't even leave their house because of autoimmune. We have a beautiful neighborhood of people, human being people. And so that's why even like the burritos, it was like, I want you to know, I see you, I love you. You need anything, we talk about it around here. We're the house to talk about it. And because a lot of the neighbors have come now feeling safe that they can just have that messed upness. And I'm like, yeah, because that's actually normal around here. If you look at this, that we are a hot mess, but we love it. We wouldn't change our life for any reason.
I'm proud of my hot mess.
And you had the same thing, you were sharing with me, because I think you're a prime example of that. I think you're starting to become more and more vulnerable as this lemonade stand cause gets greater than you, right? Because before you would try to keep it in.
Yeah.
Share a little bit, because I love that you.
Yeah. So I do. I mean, I'm passionate and I love it, and I wouldn't have it any other way. But I do expose myself to a lot of people's stuff, and because I love everybody who I become connected to, then I start feeling their pain, or their situation that they're going through, and then of course I want to fix them, but I can't, because you can't fix people. So I think that sometimes triggers some things, and I was going to say sometimes depression is obvious, like you lost a son to suicide, or you lost your job, or that, and it's like, well, of course you're going to go through some depression. And sometimes it's not so obvious. And so what I was sharing with you earlier was the fact that I have no idea why, but the other night I had suicidal depression that just weighed down on me, like I couldn't believe. And I didn't know where it came from. I mean, I was just, and I think that's the thing, is that it's not something to be understood as much as it is to be accepting. So I kind of at that moment, fortunately for me, it was at the end of, the evening, and I was close to getting ready to go to bed anyways. So I just said, I was like, I just need to shut down. I know this is going on. I know I'm feeling this way. It's a horrible feeling.
Mhm.
Um, it's a horrible feeling not to want to live, you
Yeah.
know? It
Dark.
really is. And my husband, who completely understands what I go through, not, again, doesn't always say or do the right thing, but he understands. But what we've been able to establish is I just go to him and just say, I just need to let you be aware.
Mhm.
I'm having this really severe kind of, I don't know what to call it, attack, suicidal attack. I don't know what to call it, but I just need for you to know that. And then he's a little bit more on high alert to watch for
Right.
anything that might not be a good thing for me to do. Yeah. And I think that makes me feel a little bit safe knowing that I have somebody to go to and say, this is weighing on me right now.
Mhm.
And so I think that's what allowed me to just go to sleep and just kind of chill out, just not even, again, I didn't want to get into the cycle of making it worse because I'm trying to think my way out of it. Yeah.
Right.
But and here's the thing. So I am very blessed. I'm grateful for everything. My business is doing really well. So much is going on in my life to be really excited about and truly grateful. So where does it come from? Who knows? And again, this is not, we're not counselors. We're not trying to figure that out. We're more about, let's just talk about it. Let's just talk about what's going on and what you're feeling. There are counselors, there are psychiatrists that you can truly talk to try to understand it. But I think where we're going right now is so much more about be accepting of it,
Yeah.
of others, be accepting of yourself, be, recognize, find the things that are healthy for you to do,
Mhm.
when you're in the grips of it. Um, and don't be afraid.
And find that, again, find tribe, y'all. If you find those safe people, and sometimes, like for me, the people that have been reaching out, I've made friends with strangers, people that don't even live in Arizona, or some that do. um Make friends that way, because like I said, I think one of the best gifts that I've given my marriage even has been to stop caring that way, because all I was doing was setting my poor husband up to fail and myself.
Right.
It has been so freeing. Um, it's done great for us. It's helped me not have so many of those episodes where, because I'm like, oh my God, does he care? Does he love me? Does he, oh my God, then he doesn't doesn't matter if I leave this place. None of that. It's all, that part of it's gone, which is a huge lift. And I think too, just, I understand some, you guys, this kind of platform may be like excessive for you. Like you're like, okay, I'm willing to be a little transparent, but I'm not getting on no Facebook Live or YouTube or whatever. That's okay. I'm not asking you to do that. That's where I think some people have certain gifts. I think my gift is that I'm able to say 98% of the things that come out of my mouth and get away with it, but that others wouldn't. But what I am asking is just, at least, today, if all we encourage you to do, whatever your treatment plan is going to be, if you are on a treatment plan, my challenge to you is start normalizing it. Don't make it weird anymore. Just talk about it. Just talk about it. And just own it. And it might be, again, it might not be a prescription. You might not be taking a prescription medicine like me, like lamotrigine or whatever, right? There's Wellbutrin, there's all kinds of medicine. But maybe it's that, every morning I wake up and I meditate so that I have a still space so that my depression doesn't trigger. You know how brave and bold that is to say that? And people around you, I guarantee you, more people than not around you needed to hear that, so that they know that, hey, does that work for you? Because I've really been struggling with that. So tell me more about the meditation. What do you do? How many minutes? I really encourage you. And then I want you to, like, remember to throw the super glue away. Throw it away, please. Everyone stop fixing each other. It doesn't exist. Please. It doesn't. We're perfectly imperfect. No more fixing. There's no fixing to be had. It's gone. That's a lie. I think that's fair.
I think that that's beautiful, and I think that's the main takeaway for today. Um, just stop trying to fix yourself. You're
No,
perfect where you are.
fixing doesn't exist, y'all. Nothing.
No,
Not when it comes to people.
and as a storytelling strategist, I'll tell you, write it down. Write down your story. Just put it on paper. Embrace it. That's the healing process of sharing things like that. And so I think I can speak for you, Sam, that you always put yourself out there to say, find me on Facebook, or you are so available, and you're so busy, but you're still so available. It just amazes me. Reach out to me. I mean, again, we're not the doctors. We're the people who are going through it. So we understand. So we make good tribe members in the
Yeah.
depression tribe.
If you need medical help, that's where, certain things are going to work for certain people, right? Some medications work for some people. I can give you my feedback on how my medicine has worked for me. It doesn't mean that it's for you. But psychiatrists, counselors, yoga instructors, you are not alone. And I promise you, everyone in this world, if you just give them an opportunity, want to love you. Allow us the opportunity to love you how you need. You just need to tell us how we can do that. Hey, I just need you to be a listener. Hey, I need you to be a sharer. Hey, I need you to send me a virtual hug, or hey, I need a breakfast burrito. I'm hungry today. I don't, just share, because people like Michelle too. I mean, she's getting out there. She's getting more and more vulnerable. As the time goes, we chip away at that. And it's awesome. It's beautiful to see, because this story you shared today, you wouldn't have shared that months ago.
I wouldn't know.
You would have kept that in. You would have kept it all together.
Yep.
But you now know you're in a place, you've created that environment that it's safe to share those kind of stories. And it makes you, I don't know, it makes you even more beautiful in my eyes, because I'm like, it's your heart. You're showing me your heart.
I really appreciate hearing that, Sam. And I will also say that last Sunday I was on a Facebook Live, and I was talking about sharing your story and the benefits of it. And so I had a question come up with, well, how do you deal with criticism? And I think it's a really important question. And I think it really ties into what we're talking about too, is you just have to not care. You have to say, this is me, this is who I am. And if you can't accept that, and if you can't love me for me, then maybe you're not a client I want. If it's a business situation, maybe you're not a customer that really fits with me. Or you have to be okay with letting that go, and know that what you gain in terms of people. I love what you say. Allow them to love you. I love that. But what you gain from allowing people to love you because you're being transparent and honest and real, so powers that criticism that you're going to get, and it makes that criticism not important.
Well, and practice your phrase, and again, when I tell Patrick, even I had to go get surgery in February, right? And I told him, I said, hey, honey, don't worry. I know you can't be emotionally supportive the way I'm going to need you. So I'm taking Annalicia with me. Anna's going to go with me. And what you can do for us, you watch the boys and take great care of them. Perfect, honey. That sounds great to me. He did fantastic. House was clean. Kids were taken care of. He would send me texts that he loved me. Annalicia was there for me. Find your phrase, how you want to say it. Because then when you say it that way, people understand it's not coming from a mean place. I didn't say, oh, you suck because you were not emotionally supportive. I didn't say that, but I'm sincere. I really meant hey, I know you can't, but I'm going to find it. The same thing with a client, right? With a client, it's being able to say hey, thank you so much for the opportunity. One thing I like to tell people is I'd love to see if I'm a good fit for you, but if you're a good fit for me. And if you're not, hey, you know what? Thank you so much for the opportunity. Unfortunately, I don't know that I'm going to be best suited, but I have someone that's so killer and awesome. You're going to love them. And then you trail it, because, keep a million people, y'all, a million, bazillion, whatever people pick, you get to pick. No one gets to pick it for you. pick it. And if you look around and you find that you have all these pretty people that walk around with super glue in their purse, shame on you. You did that to yourself. Nobody did that for you. You did it.
Exactly. Sam, I could go on for hours talking with you. You are the light in my life so often. And I really appreciate your willingness to come on and talk about this. I do have to wrap up here, but I want to just put out there, please, anybody who is listening, watching, send us questions. Let us know if this is helpful. We're more than happy to get on and just talk about it. I mean, if you want to see more shows like this, let me know.
And you don't have to, we won't say your name, but if there's something you want Michelle to ask a question, and and she knows I will answer brutally honest. You just ask it. We'll answer it. No filter.
Yeah.
Whatever we can do to help you guys. Because we've even been talking, we might need to do this a little more regular, but just, we're here for you. And find us on social media. I promise. Like Michelle, she's not gotten bigger than her britches. She answers all her own messages. I do too. We're here for you. We love you. We see you.
We do. Love you all. And yep, you said it, Sam. So ditto on that, and do reach out. Do let us know. Give us some feedback. We are here to help and to see you through your journey. So with that, I do have to say goodbye, and we're just we'll be back if the need is there and the want is there. We'll be talking about it some more. But with that, I will say goodbye. Thank you again, Sam. You are the best. All right. All right.